Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into MercadoLibre's proxy statement, and trust me, there's more than just legal jargon. We're talking about a company possibly changing its home base, executive paychecks, and how they see their impact on Latin America. I know it sounds like a snooze fest, but we're going to find the interesting bits, promise. So what's the big picture? Well, MercadoLibre, that e-commerce and fintech giant in Latin America, wants your vote on a few key things. First up, they're asking you to choose some directors. These are the folks who steer the ship, and they need to be re-elected. The CEO is super proud of their company culture, calling it their most precious asset, saying it's the reason they've passed 100 million active buyers. According to him, the focus on culture is among the most important tasks for leadership, especially with over 84,000 employees. Next, they want you to weigh in on how much the top executives are getting paid. This is a non-binding vote, meaning your opinion is just a suggestion, but it's a suggestion the board will consider. Think of it as your chance to say, yay, pay them more, or hold up, that's too much. They're also asking you to ratify, which is a fancy word for approve, their accounting firm. Finally, the most interesting item, they want to move the whole operation from Delaware, where they are currently incorporated, to Texas. Let's take a look at the reasons and implications of that move. MercadoLibre isn't just about selling stuff though. They see themselves as having a transformative impact on Latin America. They think they're empowering small businesses, giving consumers more options, and boosting financial inclusion. They are also celebrating 25 years as a driver of transformation across Latin America. All good PR for investors and their image. They're focusing on what they call economic empowerment, social empowerment, and environmental stewardship. For the economic side, Mercado Pago, their payment platform, is key to bringing financial tools to more people. They also want to boost sustainable products, helping eco-friendly businesses get more visibility. As for the environment, they are attempting to reduce their carbon footprint through sustainable mobility, energy management, and making packaging more circular. Let's talk about who they want you to put in charge. The board is divided into 3 classes, and some directors are up for re-election. They nominate folks for election, and they encourage shareholders to suggest potential directors too. They want people with integrity, skills, and relevant experience. They even look for diversity when evaluating potential directors. One nominee, Stelio Passos Tolda, has a strong background in banking and finance. Emiliano Kalemzuk, another nominee, has experience in media and entertainment. And Martin Lawson brings a lot of knowledge about e-commerce and fintech in Latin America. They are also nominating Marcos Galperin, the current CEO, to continue as a director. These candidates have different skills, including banking, finance, risk oversight, marketing, innovation, and a whole lot of Latin American market experience. All the things you'd want for a company that is focused on e-commerce in the region. The company has a lead independent director, Emiliana Kalemzuk. That's important because the CEO is also the chairman of the board. Having a lead independent director ensures that there's someone to keep the CEO in check and make sure the board is acting in everyone's best interests. There are 3 main committees helping the board. The audit committee checks the numbers. The compensation committee decides how much executives get paid. And the nominating and corporate governance committee finds and recommends new board members. The audit committee also oversees the company's risk management framework and cybersecurity risk management processes. It's worth noting that the compensation committee members don't have any weird connections to the company or other executives, which is good. That committee has the power to make all of the large comp decisions for named executive officers. Now let's get to the biggest change. Moving the businesses home from Delaware to Texas. Why? According to the report, Texas is where a lot of the company's US operations are now based, especially with their new fulfillment center. They want to simplify things by having their legal home and operational center in the same place. The board believes Texas offers more corporate flexibility because Texas law would allow directors and officers to consider the company's short and long-term interests in their decisions. Texas also has stronger ties to Latin America than Delaware. Delaware is known for having a top-notch legal system. MercadoLibre considered that too, but they believe Texas's code-based system is now a better fit for them. Also, the Texas law amendments would codify the business judgment rule and provide more protection for directors and officers. There are some cost savings too. They won't have to pay franchise taxes to Delaware anymore, which will save them around $250,000 a year. Plus, new rules in Texas could help reduce legal expenses. The Texas redomestication will result in net savings by the company of approximately $250,000 annually. What does this move mean for you as a shareholder? Well, your shares in the Delaware company will automatically become shares in the Texas company. You won't have to trade in your stock certificates. The ticker symbol MELI will stay the same. Here are some of the skills possessed by their directors. They include entrepreneurship, understanding risk, an emphasis on innovation, and even expertise in cybersecurity. Each of these skills is important in the leadership of a modern company. MercadoLibre works as an ecosystem for consumers and merchants and has a transformative impact across Latin America. They empower millions of small and medium-sized businesses by providing them with the tools to compete. By addressing their specific needs, they have reshaped the region's landscape and developed solutions that democratize commerce and financial services. Now let's check out the executive compensation and dig into those financials. The filing also mentions that all the legal paperwork from all their people was filed on time, so no problem there. Okay, so who owns the most of this company? According to the filing, Bailey Gifford & Co. owns about 9.25% of the stock, and the Galperin Trust owns 7%. How much did the top folks get paid? The chairman and CEO, Marcos Galperin, made $13.7 Santos made $2.6 million. And the other top executives made between $3 million and $5 million. A lot of these executives did not have any stock in the company, instead opting for long-term incentive plan bonuses. The compensation program is based on the goals of alignment, effectiveness, attraction, motivation, and competitiveness. The big decisions on pay are made by the compensation committee, which is free to hire a consultant however they think is best. The process focuses on market data, and then they look at market data to see what other folks are being paid to make sure that their offers are competitive. This resulted in a list of companies that we considered when analyzing and making decisions relating to our 2023 mod Booking23 compensation process that includes Airbnb, Block, Booking Holdings, and many other familiar names. There were no weird relationships that could influence the pay decisions in any way. Now let's scroll to that chart of pay. Marcos Galperin, the CEO, made $565,871 in base salary. But then the real kicker is a long-term retention plan bonus of almost $13 million. You can also see all the other executive compensation in a similar format and a similar proportion. This compensation is also a total tally over the life of the plans and not new money. The compensation is based on net revenues and financial income, income from operations, total payment volume, and competitive NPS. As you can see, the people who are making decisions on compensation have both technical skill in running this type of business, but also the experience needed to run a large company in a fast-changing landscape. They are planning to hold a stockholder vote on the way they did compensation in 2023, and it will be advisory, meaning not binding. The good news is that 83.81% of the stockholders voted for, which means that people generally agree. Next, we have the company telling us, hey everyone, we have a code of ethics and everyone's following it. We also make sure that nobody's betting against the company or doing anything shady with their stock. We take insider trading seriously, which is good. And as a final review of numbers, we have the audit committee report. It just says, hey, we looked at the numbers, we talked to the auditors, everything seems okay. The filing also presents certain non-GAAP financial measures. It may be different from other financial measures that other companies use, but they believe that their measures provide useful information to both management and investors by excluding the foreign currency exchange rate impact that may not be indicative of our core operating results and business outlook. So how did the company do from a non-GAAP perspective? They made $4.7 billion in operating income in constant dollars. This is calculated by using the average monthly exchange rates for each month during 23, 2022, and 2023, 2022, and 2024, 2023, and 2022. Finally, the report tells us where the headquarters are located in Uruguay and how to submit proposals. So what's my take on all this? MercadoLibre appears to be positioning itself for continued growth, but the move to Texas is definitely something to watch. While they emphasize the strategic value and supposed cost savings, it also makes one wonder about the long-term plan. Their financials look pretty good with rising net revenues and a big jump in income from operations, which makes a case for their executive compensation. The market likes them as well with their stock price increasing. One thing to keep an eye on is the increasing competition in Latin America from other e-commerce giants. MercadoLibre needs to keep innovating and investing to stay ahead, and the move to Texas is part of that puzzle. Overall, MercadoLibre is a solid company with a strong position in a growing market. They are making interesting moves with their business and you should keep an eye on them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more corporate decoder